One day, you're standing in the middle of your own life, and something inside you says, is this what you wanted? At 44, I realized there are rules most men follow their entire lives without ever questioning them. Rules we inherited, rules the world taught us, rules we absorbed, rules we never chose. Rules about what a successful man is supposed to look like. But they're really rules for a life that looks successful on the outside while you feel empty on the inside, Mahal. These are the 7 rules men over 40 should have broken sooner. Rule 1, men don't cry. The first time I heard that phrase, I was a child, I had fallen off my bicycle, my knees were bleeding, and I was crying. An adult told me, men don't cry. He didn't say it with cruelty. He said it as if it were necessary life advice. That day, I did something small but decisive. I learned to hide pain. Over the years, it became automatic. When someone broke my heart at 19, I said it didn't matter. When my first business failed, I smiled in front of everyone. When my father died, I turned into a statue. I remember the funeral as if it were yesterday. Everyone was crying except me. I stood rigid, greeting people, thanking them, organizing everything. I felt proud of staying strong. But that night, when everyone left, I sat alone in my kitchen and cried the way I hadn't cried in years. I wasn't only crying for his death. I was crying for everything I had never allowed to come out. At 40, I understood something that would have saved me so much emotional weight. The man who doesn't cry is not strong. He is accumulating internal storms that will explode someday. Rule 2, your worth depends on how hard you work. At 25, I was addicted to work and called it responsibility. Being the first to arrive and the last to leave made me feel superior. While others rested, I produced. I thought that would make me someone respected. I remember one specific week that marked me. I worked 72 accumulated hours, slept almost nothing, ate poorly, but I felt proud because I was building my future. That same week, my son had a school presentation. He had been asking me to come for days. I told him yes, but work got complicated. I didn't go. When I got home, I found his drawing on the table. It was him on a stage, and in the audience, there was a female figure and an empty space beside her. I asked him who that empty space was. He said, "That was you, but you couldn't make it." At 40, I understood that I confused providing with being present. Money keeps a house running, but presence keeps a family together. Rule 3, you must always be the strong one. For years, I was the man everyone came to, the fixer, the one who lent money, who gave advice, who never said, "I can't." Being needed became addictive, but nobody talks about the weight of being the strong one. When my friends had crises, I was there. When my family had problems, I solved them. But when I was struggling, I stayed silent. Because the strong one doesn't collapse, the strong one holds everything up. Until one day I couldn't hold it up anymore. I remember driving alone at night, no music, no destination, and suddenly I started crying. Nothing specific had happened. I simply broke. It was the emotional exhaustion of years finally coming out without permission. At 40, I understood that being a man is not about being a rock, it's about being human. And humans need support too. Rule 4, success is money. I spent decades chasing financial stability. I thought that when I reached a certain level, I would feel permanent peace. My life was economic milestones. First car, first apartment, first profitable business. And yes, I achieved them. But every achievement came with a strange feeling that didn't last. I remember the day I bought the watch I had always wanted. As a young man, I used to look at it in store windows, dreaming about being able to pay for it. When I finally bought it, I sat in my car, looked at it on my wrist, and thought, is this it? There was no euphoria, no fullness, no internal transformation. It was just an expensive object, marking the time in a life where I almost never had any. At 40, I redefined success. Success is being able to have lunch with your mother on a random Tuesday. Success is your son wanting to tell you about his day. Success is sleeping in peace. Money solves material problems, but it doesn't fill emotional voids. Rule 5, love can wait. I always postponed love for stability. I said I first needed to become someone worthy of being loved, that I needed to accomplish things first. There was a woman who came into my life when I had nothing. She believed in me. She supported me. She saw potential where I saw uncertainty. But I was always busy. I asked for her patience, her time, her understanding. Until one day she said something that stayed with me. I don't want to love you when you have time. I want to love you while you're building your life. I didn't know how to answer her, because in that moment, my priority wasn't loving, it was advancing. She left without a scene, without a fight, without drama. She simply left. At 40, I understood that love is not a prize at the end of the road, it's the traveling companion. And there are people who don't come back when you're finally ready. Rule 6, the body can take anything. At 20, I treated my body as if it were indestructible. I slept 4 hours, ate whatever was available, didn't exercise. My excuse was always the same. I don't have time, but the body collects with interest. At 37, I started having back pain. At 38, constant fatigue. At 39, medical results that were no longer perfect. I remember the doctor looking at me and saying, "Your body reflects how you have been living, not how you want to live." That sentence hit me hard because I understood I couldn't negotiate with my health the way I negotiated with my schedule. Today I work out, I rest, I eat better, not to look young, but to not grow old before my time. Rule 7, there's always time. This is the cruelest of all because it seems harmless. I always thought I had time to travel with my parents, to ask forgiveness from a friend, to pick up paused dreams until time started proving me wrong. The first friend my age who died left me in shock. Then another acquaintance, then a friend's father. That's when I understood that life doesn't warn you when you enter the second half. There's no alarm. There's no notification. One day you look at photos and notice there's more past than visible future. After 40, time stops being abstract, it becomes tangible. You start measuring it in pending hugs, in calls you never made, in moments you'll never repeat. Today, I am not the man I imagined at 20. I am more tired, but more aware. Slower, but deeper. Less proud, but more free. If I could sit down in front of my younger self, I wouldn't talk about money, or success, or status. I would tell him, cry when you need to. Don't trade presents for a paycheck. Don't carry everything alone. Don't measure your value in things. Don't postpone love. Take care of your body, and don't live believing there's plenty of time. Because life doesn't break all at once, it wears down slowly every time you obey rules that go against your peace. Today, I am 40. I can still correct many things, but I have already paid the price for not having broken these rules sooner. And if someone younger is listening to this, I hope they don't wait until my age to start living with less weight and more truth. Which of these 7 rules have you lived through? Write the number in the comments. See you in the next video.